So what can I tell you guys that David and Andrew haven't really told you? Secrets. Excellent.
Secrets. You were looking for the pilots from start to finish. The second and the third, we understand, are written. So go.
Yes. Okay. Excellent. Well, in terms of secrets, for us, the secret is Oliver. One of the things we're doing is we don't really consider the show a superhero show. We consider it more like a hero show, more like a crime thriller. And as with any crime thriller, you're going to have a mystery. Except unlike CSI, where it's a body drop at the beginning of every episode, the mystery is Oliver. Oliver is the case of the week, basically. So each week we're peeling back the layers of his character, both in the present and in the past, because we're going to be continuing the flashbacks into series. So you'll get to sort of see what happened to him on the island. And it won't always be the things that you expect. We're trying to sort of always surprise the audience. So the mysteries and the twists come out of character as opposed to out of plot, if that makes sense. So secrets, are there secrets? I can't tell you any secrets.
Worth a try.
I know, it was very worth it. It was a game. It was a very game effort. And next time, just get some more drinks in me, and then not a problem. Or some drinks in me, I should say. But what can I tell you that's not a secret?
Well, you mentioned flashbacks.
Yes.
I mean, we've heard that it's some on the island. Are they going to be going more into his father's history and any of this question?
It's funny. The network asked me the same question. The network asked me, are we going to ever see flashbacks outside of Oliver's perspective in that sort of linear sense? And I'll give you the same answer I gave the network, which is we sort of feel like, right now we're doing a version of the show where it's present day into flashback, and we need to sort of set that template and teach the audience to watch the show that way before we start messing around with other nonlinear devices like changing the POV on the flashbacks and, going further back than the 5 years, things of that nature. It's sort of like if you look at Lost. When Lost premiered, it was very straightforward, present day into flashback, and then once they set that template and taught the audience how to watch the show that way, then they had the freedom to start playing around. So once we develop that freedom, yes, we're gonna mess around quite a bit, because I do think one of the mysteries of the show is when Robert says to him, on the raft, I'm not the man you think I am. Well, hopefully it makes you go, well, what type of man was he? What's going on there? And that's certainly part of the mystery. But one of the things that you should watch the show for is there's other ways of advancing that mystery and answering that mystery other than seeing flashbacks with Robert.
Do you have any plans to explore what happened with Laurel's mother?
Yes, actually, we know exactly what happened with Laurel's mother, and we're not sure which episode we're going to do it in. It'll probably be in the first 10, and you'll sort of see. It's a great question because a lot of people don't remember that Laurel has a mother, but she does, and it's an interesting story that relates to Oliver. What else? I'm on camera here. I gotta look intelligent.
You're a comic book writer, and obviously Arrow is going to stray from the comics here for the temper. But is there anything from the comic book that you want to bring in?
Yeah. Well, first of all, in just about every episode, we're bringing in something from the comics. Sometimes it'll just be a little Easter egg. Other times it'll be an entire character. So there are various different things from the comics we'll be bringing in. But I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. So it's sort of like stay tuned, I guess, is the unsatisfying answer I can give you.
Is there any chance that Laurel's sister could have lived?
Gosh, that's a really good question. I honestly, I guess so. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. I don't know. That's sort of a damned if I do, damned if I don't question, because if I say there's absolutely no chance and we do decide to somehow reveal that she lived, but then again, it's been 5 years. That's sort of the thing that, we're always trying to remind ourselves in the writer's room that, for us, we're writing the flashbacks and it feels like present day, but we're always trying to keep in mind the fact that there is a real 5-year gap when we're doing those flashbacks. So all that time, all those 5 years needs to be accounted for, not just with respect to Oliver, but with respect to the people he left behind. Like when we talk about Laurel and Thea and Moira and Tommy, what were they doing during those 5 years? And sort of exploring that. But you're clearly a fan of that actress, and you'd like to see her back.
No, I was like, we didn't see a body when I was watching it. So
interesting. I love the level of suspicion. I love the level of suspicion. Obviously that was like, you never see a body, I think, when there's a boat sinking. It's like Titanic. In fact, it's funny. We always in the pilot, we called that the Titanic shot when the boat's just going down, and we were working on it because obviously that's all CG. But I think the visual effects guys did a good job.
Audiences are obviously getting smarter. They're getting more in tune, more interactive with TV shows. Lost, everybody, and their mom is watching, going on the internet, eating. How much interactivity do you plan on having with your fan base?
Well, it's funny. I got on Twitter. I don't know, like maybe 2 months ago, really for the show. And as he pointed out, I'm also a comic book writer, and I'm used to a lot of interactivity with the fans. So our philosophy is we will have a lot of interactivity. I always have to say at this stage that that sort of stuff happens in success, and it happens, and it's great to think about, and it's fun to play around with. But at the end of the day, like, that doesn't happen unless the show is amazing. So the primary goal is always, let's launch the show, let's make it as great as it possibly can be, and if we're lucky enough to have fans, and we're lucky enough that they actually want to interact with us, we'll be there to chat with them. But I never want to assume. I just want the show to be great, because we also live in an era. I'm sorry, I'm digressing a lot today. We live in an era where it's not just the interactivity. Because of iTunes and because of streaming and everything, shows, even when they get canceled, they live longer. You can check out every one of my failed TV shows on iTunes. Years after they came out. So I think it's because of that legacy. I really try to focus very much on just the quality of the show. Make the show as good as it possibly can be, and then if you get to do all the little shimmy and flourishes of PR and outreach, that's gravy. But the show's got to be great. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.